Welcome to the course Fluid Dynamics. This is a postgraduate course of which both mathematics point of view and engineering point of view exist. Fluid dynamics, let us explain those two terms, fluid and dynamics. Fluid can be categorized into two substances, liquid and gas. And dynamics, when this state of a substance occur, when a substance is in motion. We have studied about solid dynamics. Here we will study about fluid dynamics. And dynamics is a part of is one part of the topic mechanics. So one part is mechanics and another part is statics. Statics, when it is the state when the substance is at rest. So we are not going to discuss here about statics. Here we are going to discuss about fluid dynamics. That means liquid or gas whenever it is in motion. And why we study this course in mathematics? This is basically a topic from engineering field like mechanical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering and ocean sciences in engineering. Even though we have a mathematical version of this course, fluid dynamics. Why? In order to understand the reason, we need to see the difference between whichever we have studied already, solid and fluid. The formal definitions of solid and fluid. First, let us discuss that. Solid may or may not deform on the application of a force. Sometimes it is also said as stress. Force per unit area, actually force per unit area. So suppose there is a solid rigid body. Suppose this upper surface is representing an area A, capital A, and along this surface a tangential force is applied. Let me write it here, capital F. A tangential force is applied. So this tangential force is called as shear force or shear stress applied per unit area. In case of fluid, maybe liquid or maybe gas, let us see the definition. Fluid will certainly deform and it will be continuously deforming on the application, the same language, on the application of shear force or stress or unit area. So suppose we are considering an amount of liquid in a vessel. So fluid is there, maybe liquid, maybe gas, and you are putting your hand on the or touching the upper surface, of the liquid, or putting your hand inside the gas, or touching the surface of the gas layer. So upon touching the surface of the gas layer, maybe a tangential kind of force is applied on the fluid, maybe liquid, maybe gas, and then the fluid will continuously be deforming, or will go under deformation, which is continuously happening, repeatedly happening. This is because the molecular structure of the solid and fluid. So if we talk about this substance is a solid, so we know that molecular gaps or particle gaps of this solid substance would be very less, and there would be a kind of continuity maintained within the molecules or particles. And in case of suppose if we talk about liquid, here we are talking about a liquid. So let me show you here. So here gaps would be very much larger than the solid substance. For liquid, the gaps will be larger, and in case of gas, suppose there is a closed jar, the two lids are also closed, and which is enclosing a volume of some amount of gas. So here the molecular gaps will be much more larger. It will be very less in case of solid. It will be gaps will be much or little bigger in case of liquid, and it will be larger for gas. So solid material or solid substance may or may not deform. If it is deforming, then we will talk about solid dynamics. And in case of fluid, maybe liquid or maybe gas, you can see that if we minimum amount of force is applied on fluid, then the fluid is destined to deform, and due to these bigger molecular gaps, so that is the difference between solid and fluid substances. And given this nature of continuously deforming on the application of a shear force or stress, this fluid is in motion on the application of a force, and then it is described basically by Newton's second law of motion. And we know Newton's second law of motion, in some cases it will generate ordinary differential equation, and in some other cases it will generate partial differential equation, in which case one variable will be dependent on several variables. So it generates ODE or PDE. And in case of fluid, there is another difference. This application or shear force generates a rate of deformation. So this is the difference between solid and liquid. In case of solid, if it is deforming, then it is simply deforming or simply displacement. It's like this. So if you are measuring this displacement or this deformation, suppose this deformation is represented here by delta x or delta L, or this area is delta A. So this is the difference between solid and liquid. In case of solid, an amount of area will be deformed. But in case of liquid, shear force or shear stress will generate a rate of deformation. Which we will see later. How rate of deformation is evaluated or considered in case of fluid flow. So let us consider two cases now, or specifically three cases, because fluid is categorized into gas and in liquid. This is liquid and this is solid. So we can see clearly for a solid, molecular gaps are less. Liquid, molecular gaps a little bigger, and for gas, molecular gaps are a bit larger or large. Now let us define something else, free path. Free path, what do you mean by free path? So here I am drawing for any substance, maybe solid, liquid or gas. So suppose here is a molecule or particle, and here some other molecules are there. Marking the molecules, other molecules inside a substance, maybe closer, much closer. So among these molecules, consider this red marked molecule, and let us discuss whenever it is under the application of a shear force or stress. So let us consider its dynamics, maybe in case of solid or maybe in case of liquid or gas. Whenever this substance is in motion, this particular molecule or every molecule will have a movement in different direction. So let us consider this particular molecule. This particular molecule may collide with this, or may collide with this, or may collide with this, or may freely move in this direction, or may collide with this, or may collide with this. So this particular molecule is having a tendency to move in random direction, and that random direction is can be seen in case of liquid and gas, that is known as Brownian motion. Brownian motion mostly can be seen in case of fluid and liquid. If you are suspending any solid particles or solid dusts in liquid or in a gas, you can see the solid part dusts are moving randomly. So that motion is known as Brownian motion. So this Brownian motion, due to this Brownian motion, this particular fluid molecule or particle may or solid particle may move in different direction whenever it is in dynamic state. So these paths are known as free paths. So up to which it can move maximum, that is what we call as free path, and these are also known as free paths, and we take a mean or average of this mean free path of a molecule or a particle, which we denote by lambda. Okay, so lambda is the average of free path of a all free paths of a possible of a molecule or particle, and L we are taking as characteristic length. Characteristic length. Let me explain what is this characteristic length. This characteristic length may be different in different cases. So suppose we are considering three figures, one over a flat plate. Fluid flow is happening over this flat plate, and you are taking this length L, this length of this entire flat plate as the characteristic length. Suppose this is 10 centimeter or 20 centimeter flat plate over which fluid particles or fluid flow is happening. So fluid particles can be seen in this form, and we may draw another figure. Suppose through a channel. Suppose this channel is having a height 2h, and this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So this wall is represented by y equals to minus h, and this wall is represented by y equals to h. So in case of this fluid flow, where these are the fluid particles, you can denote our molecules, we can take the distance between two flat plates, or which is constructing a channel. Distance between two flat plates is 2h as the characteristic length. Or we can consider a third figure. This is figure 1, this is figure 2. We can consider another figure, flow through a pipe. So this is z axis, suppose, and fluid is flowing in this direction, entering the pipe. These are the fluid particles or molecules randomly distributed, and the diameter of this vessel or tube or pipe is d. So diameter of this tube or pipe we can consider as the characteristic length. So in any case, we can see the mean free path lambda, or the distance between every two molecule, maybe a fluid is flowing, maybe a liquid or maybe a gas is flowing in these three figures, in one of those three figures. So in any case, lambda is very much less than L, or we can say lambda by L is very much less than 1, and this lambda by L is known as Knudsen number. So whenever this Knudsen number is very much less than 1, suppose less than 0.1, then only you can consider this collection of molecules as like a volume, small elementary volume of fluid, or amount of fluid is moving through the channel or through the pipe or over a plate. And in that case, you can apply continuum hypothesis. Continuum hypothesis. So if we apply continuum hypothesis, the properties of calculus or the operations of calculus like continuity, differentiability and integrability can be applied as we have seen in our graduation, as it is applied in case of solid dynamics. In case of fluid dynamics, it can be applied only when continuum hypothesis is assumed in the flow phenomena. That is, Knudsen number is very much less than 1. That is, the characteristic length is much bigger than its or molecular mean free path. So this small amount of volume or elementary volume is known as control volume. Control volume in a fluid flow. So which we will see in details in the next video. What is the control volume? How the control volume is to be assumed, and what are the fluid phenomena we presented by this control volume, and what are the unknowns, what are the knowns. So this fluid dynamics is applicable everywhere in the real world. As we know, mathematics is everywhere. This fluid dynamics is everywhere in the world. Like we can give examples in case of blood flow in a human body or in any animal body, or flow of water through channel or through a pipe, or flow over a flat plate or over a surface, or simple examples of storms, cyclones, etc. So we will discuss further in the next video what is the control volume and other topics. Thank you.